Spring has hit southern Ontario, and real estate data is moving in two different directions. Sales activity is climbing, but prices are continuing to soften. While the warmer weather brought more house hunters off the sidelines, the sheer volume of available homes kept the overall landscape leaning heavily in favor of buyers. This chart shows the exact divide in the Greater Toronto Area. Year-over-year sales volume went up 7%, but the average selling price actually dropped by almost 5%, landing at just over $1.05 million. Because total inventory remained elevated throughout April, simply listing a property wasn't enough to secure a quick sale. Sellers had to actively compete against their neighbors to capture buyer attention. The market is busy, but with plenty of options to choose from, buyers are holding on to the majority of the negotiating power. Applying the label buyer's market across the entire province misses the details. The actual conditions look drastically different depending on the municipality. In the core markets of Toronto and Peel region, the broader softness in pricing means house hunters have significant room to negotiate, especially on properties that aren't fully renovated or perfectly positioned. Move slightly north to York region and the dynamic tightens. York is acting as a resilient stronghold, where buyers looking for move-up, detached homes react quickly the moment local inventory shrinks. Meanwhile, Durham region continues to serve as the primary affordability pressure valve in the east. It pulls in buyers who are willing to trade quick access to downtown Toronto for more square footage and lower monthly carrying costs. Proximity to the Toronto core no longer guarantees a seller an easy win. Localized affordability and clear value are what actually drive bidding competition today. Looking west to the premium corridors of Milton, Oakville, and Burlington, we see modest monthly strength. But even in these higher-end neighborhoods, buyers are highly selective and extremely value-conscious. This text block highlights the distinct price pressure visible in Hamilton. The city entered the spring market with a clear 8.6% year-over-year price drop, bringing the average home down to just over $721,000. Further out in the tech-heavy Waterloo region, the market is split. Detached home sales saw a strong rebound in buyer interest this April, while the condo sector remained sluggish, weighed down by heavy inventory. A city's historical prestige matters far less right now than the specific, real-time pricing discipline within its local submarkets. This table shows negotiating power is dictated by property type. First, tight supply makes detached homes resilient, giving sellers an edge. Conversely, semi-detached and townhomes occupy a balanced middle ground based on carrying costs. Finally, abundant condo supply creates a strong buyer's advantage. Understanding these structural imbalances between housing types is how you identify where the true leverage lies. The data reflects a very specific human behavior. With current interest rates keeping borrowing costs elevated, buyers are carefully calculating their monthly affordability and commute times before they commit to an offer. At the same time, months of elevated housing supply have forced sellers to adjust their mindset. They are pricing realistically against the active competition down the street, rather than relying on the optimism of past years. Heading into the second quarter of 2026, the most likely scenario is a gradual firming in sales volume, paired with modest price stabilization across freehold markets. But as this graphic shows, that stabilization will not apply universally. Continued buyer leverage will heavily impact condos, along with any property that hits the market listed above its actual value. The best strategy for the spring market isn't trying to guess the broad direction of southern Ontario. It's mastering the specific, on-the-ground reality of your exact submarket. Operating in an environment with such uneven conditions requires constant, real-time market interpretation and strict discipline at the negotiating table. That is why you need to partner with Team Homax. We build targeted strategies around accurate, real-world pricing and deep submarket expertise. If you are planning to buy, sell, or invest in Southern Ontario, reach out to Team Homax for the personalized guidance you need to succeed.